What's your prediction? You gave me a number for silver last year. I want one this year. $20,000 order rejected.
Yeah.
It was very difficult.
It is, and there's more of that coming. If it goes to $200, it's just about every small deal is going to drop out.
Is it wise for people to stack gold and silver right now, especially if they don't have any?
Here's the thing about precious metals.
Get your Yankee Silver Rounds featuring coin dealer Tim exclusively online at SD Bullion. Grab yours today while supplies last.
Happy New Year, Tim.
Happy New Year.
It's great to be here in your closed shop. I'm so glad that we have time to talk without being interrupted.
You still had a few people banging on the door?
There were a couple people knocking.
And several phone calls.
Yes. All right, so let's just briefly talk about 2025. The predictions that you and I made back in, I think it was December 2024. Silver was $22 an ounce at the time we made the prediction.
Yeah.
Gold was around $2,700 an ounce. You said by the end of 2025, we could see $38 an ounce for silver, and I said $40 an ounce for silver, and I think we both guessed around $3,000 an ounce for gold. Yeah, we were wrong with a capital W, big time.
What I did not see, and I've been saying this since it happened, was the posted prices not being spot prices, but being futures prices. That distorted the entire marketplace. And I never thought that would happen. I thought that they would have to stick to spot prices.
I'm going to get into that very deeply with you, okay? I know you have been very vocal about the spot price, the historical changes with spot price. I did a little AI searching, or as you call it, AI Googling. When did the COMEX introduce more modern derivative products for silver and gold and move away from the physical delivery contract as the primary mechanism for trading and price discovery? It said this: before future contracts were the main mechanism for gold and silver price discovery, the COMEX used physically delivered contracts. The shift away from physical delivery as the primary mechanism for trading and price discovery happened in phases, driven by market events and technology. And gold options were launched for the COMEX in 1982. Silver options were introduced to the COMEX in 1984. Then Globex kicked in. Globex was the electronic trading platform that was launched in 92, and it allowed, almost round-the-clock trading. Now, the vast majority of future contracts are cash settled before expiration. The traders don't want the actual metals. They just want to trade it before it expires.
No, but they sell at a high point, very high point, and they buy them back at a very low point.
Yes.
And when you sell something at a high price, like, $4,500 and an ounce of gold, and you buy it back at, say, 4,200 ounces or 41 dollars per ounce of gold, you're making billions in cold hard cash. Okay, that's the problem with the system, and it's not regulated.
The regulation is non-existent, or they're not doing their job, as you like to say.
There are reasons, and I don't want to call anybody criminal.
They spoof, which means they make trades and then they pull them really quick. And it makes it look like that's going to go through, so it artificially bumps the market one way or the other. Yeah. That's wrong, and it's illegal.
Yes.
They also naked short. That's selling futures contracts that don't have the metals behind it.
I think that's the only regulation they did. They limited the amount of gold that they can put into a phony contract to 27 million ounces. That's all that's available, and that doesn't exist.
So the spot price used to be something that I remember as a kid, and you remember as an adult. Yeah. It was real spot price. It was the actual value of the delivered metals,
That's right? That's right. You go down to a store, and what you would pay was that price.
That's it.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you are, in a sense, held hostage by the futures contracts that make up the spot price?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
That's what you have to use in your coin shop.
We talk about it every day while people are buying and selling. And I find that people who are close to my age say, well, I've waited long enough, I might as well pull the trigger. And, people who are leaving something for their children or grandchildren, they're more than likely to buy now just to get it off their chest. And, it's not fair to those people, but unfortunately, that's the system we have to deal with now.
It is.
Until maybe Basel III or maybe
Something else breaks.
Maybe some regulatory agency decides that some things that are being done are against the rules. And the transition to futures prices was gradual, and all throughout 2024 it was doing this. Okay, so we knew what the factors were that were controlling the market. In 2025, the whole market got turned over to futures prices, probably because of the amount of money that is in the hands of the speculators. You just take the top 6 or 8 firms, investment houses, and look at the amount of money that they have under management, and it's more than this country's debt. That's the problem. It's an amount of money that nobody wants to fight against. So, and is that wrong? Well, it's not wrong because it's happening ever since Glass-Steagall was made history, and that allowed investment houses to grow very big. I don't know what the numbers were in the 1920s. When it was just a few of the investment houses control a lot of money, but it was regulated starting in 1933 or whenever Glass-Steagall was implemented. And when Glass-Steagall went away, it isn't regulated at all. It hasn't been regulated. Here's the thing about precious metals. Even if the Basel III is implemented and the futures contracts go away, just inflation will bring them back, bring the metals back. And is it to the current prices? Well, every year the dollar loses a little more value, but so does every other currency in the world. But inflation is like death and taxes. It is guaranteed. And
I would say it's required in our economy. We need inflation, unfortunately, because of the enormous amount of debt that we have.
Yeah, but that's a bad way of looking at it.
It's a horrible way.
That's the Weimar Republic
I know.
all over again.
I'm not advocating for it, Tim. I'm just telling you the economic reality here.
Weimar Republic was put under unpayable reparations to the other countries in Europe. And so they, as kind of an experiment, they said, if we inflate the currency a little bit, maybe it'll take us a shorter time than a million years to pay off these reparations. When you do that, you lose the confidence of the people. And so if you have gold and silver, that's what you turn to. And that was an experiment that everybody should know well, because there are countries who are still trying that experiment.
Let me just
one party in our country.
Let me just say, wonder which one it is, Tim. Okay. Don't you think that even with the manipulation and the futures contracts not being the real spot price of physical precious metals, that the inflation aspect, that factor, is still a part of what we've been seeing, especially in 2025?
The figures aren't enormous. They're actually pretty small. I think the last I heard, inflation was less than 2.2 or 2.3%.
But under Biden, it went way up.
It
Gold and
did.
silver didn't respond like everything else did. Isn't it playing catch up now?
Yeah, but it wasn't all futures contracts either. So you have the two things that work, okay? If we had high inflation and the entire market was futures contracts, I would have given you a different number for the end of this year. So what has happened in the end of the year is we've seen a retreat in both gold and silver. And so there's something else afoot.
I sent you a text earlier that showed on X, January 1st, 2026, silver trades at $130 in Tokyo. Silver trades at $80 in Shanghai. Silver trades at $71 in New York. Same metal, same day, same ounce. I mean, that arbitrage is insane. And when you look at Shanghai, they're largely focused on the physical. And here in New York in the COMEX, it's all futures contracts, really. Yep. But we have a big battle going on, it looks like, over the spot price.
You listen to the Chinese and pay attention to what the Chinese are doing, because they're very smart about precious metals. They've been mining for 30 years all over the world. And so, well, how much do they have? They're not telling, but they did it the right way. Now, when I say that, keep in mind that all the mines in China are owned by the CCP.
Woo! This is fun, having Tim all to myself and sharing him with you, of course. Lots more coming. We'll get into it in just a few minutes, including Tim's fascinating response to a subscriber email. Speaking of emails, I got this private one last week. Notice the PS at the very bottom there, 250%. Nice ROI there, bro, but it's all you. I don't recommend you buy or sell any stocks. I just make you aware of the ones that I like. And also check out these public comments on my videos. Interesting, isn't it? I've been profiling mining and commodity stocks for years, and now that they're getting hot, people are really interested in it. It's a lot like stacking physical silver and gold. You know, I get, should I stack silver and gold, Yankee? Yeah, years ago, but right now too. Yankee, should I look into silver and gold mining stocks? Yes. I'm convinced both are just revving up. And since I promised I'd share a silver mining stock with Teresa S. today, one I shared earlier this year, one that has doubled in price since I did share it. I'll share it again with all of you. It's one where a billionaire mining tycoon recently increased his position in. It's one where a prominent Argentinian businessman raised his position in it by millions of dollars just a few months ago. And it's Argenta Silver. This pure play silver company is sponsoring this portion of the video, and I continue to be very bullish on them. So let me just bottom line it for you first and quickly. Argenta is focused on silver. That's what I mean when I say pure play, okay? Argenta's flagship resource and project are situated in Argentina's top mining jurisdiction, the Salta province, voted the very best jurisdiction of Latin America for 2024 by the Fraser Institute. Only 1% of Argenta's land package has ever been drilled, and they're drilling right now. And finally, we happen to be in the midst of the best silver market, like ever. So listen up, okay? Argenta silver shares surged 188% last year, but the stock price is now down by 34% from its peak. In my opinion, that could be an ideal situation. That billionaire I mentioned, he's Frank Gustra, Argenta's biggest shareholder. And months ago, I shared Frank's driving vision with you. Here's a few important details as to why he increased his position in Argenta Silver. The previous owners of the El Cavar resource spent about $60 million Canadian on the project. They discovered the third largest pure silver deposit in Argentina, and they built a 100-person camp. And then Argenta purchased it from them for only $3.5 million US back in September of 2024. I bet the previous owners of El Cavar are kicking themselves for selling it. The deposit contains a silver resource of 45.3 million ounces of silver in the indicated category and 4.1 million ounces of silver in the inferred category. And look at those grades. That's excellent. Again, less than 1% of the project area has been explored. I think there is huge potential here. I mean, this is already the third largest undeveloped pure silver deposit in Argentina. And as I said, they're drilling as I speak. So results are imminent and will continue to come in for the next few months, all in a silver bull market. So you see why I'm sharing this with you again? Remember the old Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So please do your very best to research Argenta Silver. Their ticker symbol right there on the screen, AGAGF. And see if it's right for you. Okay, guys, this is not stacking. You got to do that first. Stack silver, physical gold. Do that. And then if you're interested in speculating a little bit, check out Argenta Silver. They're available on all kinds of platforms like Interactive Brokers, Schwab, Fidelity, not Robinhood. So thank you so much for giving me the time to tell you about Argenta. But right now, let's continue with my exclusive interview with Tim. You believe that it's fake. It's not a genuine...
No, it's not being posted.
We're not seeing the spot price?
If we could get 10,000 people together and refuse to do business in those prices, it might just come down. Or, if everybody who is on your channel decided they're not going to buy at those prices, they're going to buy at a real price, they might get spooked enough to go closer to the real price. Or if Basel III is implemented, now we have a question as to whether or not futures contracts are worth anything.
Is it wise for people to stack gold and silver right now, especially if they don't have any?
It is, depending on their plans. If their plans are to play the ratio, then they're in difficult ground because we can't control the ratio either. If the purpose is to provide some wealth for your children and grandchildren, it's a very good idea.
Okay, we're going to talk about supply. Before we do, please comment below what you think of this conversation with Tim. And don't forget to like this video. I would really appreciate that too. You saw the video that I sent you from SD Bullion, Cole and Chase.
Yeah.
And the supply issues that they had sourcing material that they needed, especially eagles and so forth.
Yeah.
They had a $20,000 order not get filled, rejected.
Yeah.
It was very difficult.
It is, and there's more of that coming. Not just for the big guys like SD Bullion, but for the little guys like me. We're at the mercy of the wholesalers. And there will come a time when I can't get something from the couple of wholesalers that I use, and I'll give Cole a call. Take advantage of it.
Cole's a great guy. He knows his stuff.
Well,
but it was challenging for him.
It's a good company, and I like their attitude. I like their religious standing, and they're very reliable to people like me.
What are you challenged with right now?
I was about to pick up the phone and order a monster box this week of Silver Eagle, Silver Maple Leafs.
Okay.
And lo and behold, the next guy in line had one to sell me. So, and that makes life a lot easier. I think the last order I placed for 2026 Eagles, it's going to be hard to make even a profit on them because they bought up. And they did, right before I ordered them. But I still think we have more to go down in both silver and gold. If we're
going to get to the predictions in a minute.
If a company like SD Bullion decides to go buy a lot of something, we may not have any more chances. No, I'll just buy it from them.
So what are you waiting on for delivery?
Oh, gosh.
Shop now.
I think I have some backdate Eagles coming in. If I don't, pretty soon I'm going to have to order some.
Don't you pick that up. It's like a reflex.
It is a natural reaction to pick up the phone.
I am so pumped that I can just let that ring and it'll go to voicemail.
Well, but what the message says, it says we're not open today.
I know.
So.
It's wonderful. All right. So you thought it would decline, the GSR.
Yes.
That, I think you said it belongs in the 50s, but maybe in the 50s.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 60 now. So it's really close. It was in the 50s.
I think it's dipped down to 58 at one time.
Yeah. But you thought that would happen because gold was going to go down, not because silver was going to go up so much, right?
Something like that, yeah.
There are a lot of people that use this strategy, though, with their physical precious metals. They want to convert all their silver to gold, or a portion of it, once this GSR goes down. And for those of you watching that might not know what I mean by gold to silver ratio, that means roughly how many silver eagles
Take
to
the
get
price
one
of
eagle.
gold and divide it by the price of silver.
There it is,
Simple
right?
as that.
Well, but people think I can bring in my 1 ounce silver eagle monster box and get a bunch of 1 ounce gold eagles, Tim.
That's a natural thought.
That is the way they
The
view
problem is that I have to base my sales on what the product costs me. And there's whatever that factor is, it may be 3% or 10% or whatever it is. We have to allow for that, and that kind of messes with the ratio. I have to treat everything as two transactions. When somebody
Right.
sells me silver, I have to do that transaction at the prices I'm handed. And if they want to buy gold, again, we have to take an account on where it comes from and what I paid for it.
So, do you think it's a wise exit plan for people to think, I'm going to stack up all this silver and wait for the GSR to drop and then try to exchange it for gold? And if so, at what ratio?
You have to keep in mind when we're looking at the ratio, it is futures contracts and not spot contracts.
And a lot of people that are stacking right now don't know the difference. And a lot of younger people have never seen a true spot price.
That is true. That is true.
I told the story. I would ride my bike down to the library and I'd pull out the Wall Street Journal and I'd flip to the page where it had the Handy and Harmon spot price for silver.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I do, yeah.
And it was right there, the number. And I knew it was like, I don't know,
Well,
$8.
it used to be
or-
in the Union Leader on the business section
Yeah.
every day. And nobody posts that because depending on who you ask, it's a different number.
Today marks the start of the China's silver export restrictions.
It was always restricted.
Okay, but now they've tightened it up. Of course, at least what they're telling
So
us.
instead of exporting nothing, they're going to export less than nothing.
So cynical. Do you think that in 2026 that we could see an escalated war between China and the U.S.? Not necessarily hot, but in terms of metals and other resources.
I think Xi Jinping and Donald Trump each understand the other very well. And the whole discussion about rare earth minerals was to find out where China stood, and that's their only playing card. That's the only card they have in their deck.
I get an email from Gomer. Maybe you can answer his questions. He said, "Hi, Yankee. Absolutely love your videos, and especially the ones with Tim. His knowledge is incredible. I'm out of Arkansas and been stacking for around 2 years now. If silver is at $33 and jumps to say, I don't know, $50, this was from December of 2024. Well, I'd like to cash in on some gains. I can't imagine coin shops buying anything at that price, knowing it probably is just a temporary spike. Maybe I'm wrong. Of course, if silver spiked and gold didn't, well, then I'd trade on the ratio for more gold. The only way I'd sell anything for fiat currency is if I had something in mind, like buying real estate. Would never want to hold the declining dollar. I guess I'm wanting to get your thoughts on partially cashing in and taking some profits when and if prices jump crazy high. If coin shops won't buy during that time, what other options are there?"
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because that is happening all over the country. And I remember talking with Harry was a great deal of insight that, because he operates in a very different way than I do. And I think he made this statement about gold that it ties up a lot of money. And it does. And I'll have to ask your assistance on this, but one of these days I'm going to have to put a lot of gold in a spot price category.
Really?
Yeah. And even though it's not a spot price, whatever that price is, category.
Whatever that fake futures contract spot price thing is.
And I have a lot of things in mind. Some are commemorative gold. Those famous baseball Hall of Fame, I have some of those certified that I don't have a ready market for. So I'm going to make them go out the door at spot. And there are a lot of stuff like that. I mean, I have a whole lot of 10th ounce gold that doesn't come from the United States that I might put in that category. A lot of foreign gold that I'll put in that category. But that's, Harry is right in that respect. It does tie up a lot of money. I'm fortunate that I'm the only person here. I have a pension from a company I used to work for, and a good amount of Social Security coming in. And I don't have time to spend any of that on myself.
I would say that a lot of people that watch your videos with me might question that comment that it's a good thing that you're alone. A lot of people want you to hire help, come in. I get comments constantly. Yankee, I'll help, I'll clean up, I'll do this. I was here trying to help a little bit out with
Well,
you.
if we're going to be here for another few hours after we finish this interview, I'm going to put you back to work.
Here, Yankee, separate these Mercs from these Rosies, and then my hands were completely covered with black. That is one disgusting
Did you find a way of cleaning your
job.
hands?
Yeah, I think I did pretty well.
Oh, that's good. It's a tedious job that I don't enjoy doing.
So you gave me the dirty job, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's a challenge when it's just
folks, he is a good worker.
Thank you, Tim.
But I try to keep him laughing.
Yeah, you do. It's fun. It's fun to be in here when there's no line. That is enjoyable.
It's unusual.
It is unusual. Before we get to the 2026 spot price predictions, do you do any New Year's resolutions?
I'm going to get back into the gym.
Oh, good.
Since I have Medicare Advantage with a very good company, and they pay for it. So why not take advantage of that? So I'm going to get back in the gym.
Awesome.
I'm not sure when, but one of these days.
I have...
Certainly before my birthday. Do you have a gym membership?
I do. When it's cold here and I can't go out and bike. So that's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to cycle more than I did even this year, which was a lot of miles.
Which would be about halfway around the globe.
Yeah, and including biking over here to see you. I am going to be stacking more. My buy ratio at this point is about 40 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of gold. And my target gold, as you know, has been those pre-33 Liberty heads in really lousy condition. Got to get that tube done, hopefully in either this year or next, before the price really goes crazy.
I have some Mint State 64s if you don't want ugly ones.
Okay. My wife and I are going to read through the Bible in 2 years. We just started today. It's something I've done a lot of, but not a lot with my wife. So I've enjoyed doing that. We're going to enjoy doing that. Also leading a Bible study.
Everybody should, especially the New Testament, because there's so much good information there.
Yeah. And then long-form videos, Tim, with you. People are asking, and have asked for a while now, to have our videos be more like 30 minutes long, or even my last one with you was 40 minutes long, and people loved it. They kept saying,
really?
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
We saw how far and wide Yankee stacking goes.
It's unbelievable.
It really is.
It's around the country. It's even around the world.
Yeah.
People want to come and see you. And it's not just because of the medals.
Well, I try to make sure that there is no problem with any transaction. And I did have a couple of questions posed to me about, for packages that didn't get right out. And the concern was that the person said, in the meantime, I've lost $1,000 because of the prices going up. But I assure people that whatever the price was when you ordered, that's the price. I don't change the price because the price went up. And sometimes I have to go order something at a higher price. That's my problem. Right. It's not their problem.
You enjoy this job.
I do.
You don't want to stop. You're going to be turning 80 March 6th. Is that right?
That is true.
I'll be turning 60 on April 13th. We're 20 years apart. I can't imagine
You have a lot to learn.
I have a lot to learn, right? I can't imagine doing what you do at age 80. I am in awe of what you do as a one-man show here. It is stunning. How do you do this?
I'm not Joe Biden yet.
All right, let's get to the predictions. Even with a compromised spot price, Tim, I want your price prediction for silver and gold for December 31st, 2026. I'll tell you mine.
I think the big companies are going to make enough noise that this nonsense stops. And that's my hope for 2026 is that the nonsense stops. And the futures contracts are not the measure of a metal.
Let's say that nonsense does stop. Where do you see the spot price, the true spot price of silver being?
In the 40s.
And gold?
It'll go down less than 4,000.
Less
That's
than 4.
that's
It'll
what
break
should
below
happen
4,000.
if everything got back to normal.
Normal.
It has been very far from normal. We've seen the pattern in a single day, this stuff, all
Right.
day long.
Yeah.
And that just means that there is an effort to pull it up and effort to get it back to something reasonable.
But where would it go from there, Tim? Below 4,000 and silver at 40?
We're not facing a lot of inflation yet. I'd like to see what happens with all these tariff deals and all the companies that are going to be investing in this country, how much that has an effect on inflation.
So you don't see inflationary forces bringing gold above 5,000 next year or silver at 100?
No, it would not for inflation.
Not from inflation.
Speculation, yes.
But the inflationary adjusted high for silver is like around $200 an ounce.
Yeah, that's not real. That's
Okay.
not real.
All right.
There's too much supply for it to go to $200. If it goes to $200, I won't be willing to spend that kind of money for silver. I think just about every small deal is going to drop out. It doesn't make any sense to be spending $1 million a month on stuff that you have absolutely no control over, and it is not on prices that are not even logical.
I don't see Basel III happening in 2026. I think it's going to be kicked down the
Wait a
road
second.
forever.
It still has a year and a half to go.
Okay. I think nothing's going to change from a regulatory standpoint. I think, and my prediction has been $120 an ounce for silver in December 31st, 2026, and $5,000 an ounce for gold. Do you think that's crazy if nothing changes?
If the markets are logical, that is, the regulation that's supposed to be in place is actually in place, that can't happen. Because, if it were based on supply and demand, that wouldn't be the case. There's no shortage of silver, and I hear people all the time, "Oh, industrial silver is 215 million ounces in reserve out of whack or whatever."
Yep.
It's just not true.
You don't see gold as a bellwether telling us that central banks
I
don't
don't.
trust our dollar and don't trust our debt. You don't
Okay.
see gold
No.
in that
Okay, how
vein.
about if we based futures contracts on physical gold?
Okay.
Okay, not paper gold, physical gold. Where would they be? If we actually had supply and demand governing these markets, how many of these people would still be speculating on gold? If there had to be real gold behind every one
I
of
think
these
it would shoot the price up, and you think it would shoot the price down.
I do.
We disagree. But we may find out.
Well, then you
Might
should
find out.
probably get a job with one of these investment houses that think that everybody else should bow to them.
Well, like I said, guys, Tim and I don't see eye to eye on everything, although he's learning.
So many of the coin dealers that I knew from going to shows and that I used to speak to, nobody wants to be in this market. They'll be in it, if the gold comes in, they'll buy it. They'll probably buy it for less than I buy it. Or silver comes in, they'll probably buy it. But to, provide as much as all your customers want, you got to spend way too much money at these prices. And they're not worth that per ounce.
Okay.
What did the ratio used to be?
A lot lower.
In 1980, what was it?
I can't recall that. What was it in 1980?
It was 800 gold and 50 silver. It was about 16 to 1. Okay.
Do you think we'd ever see that again?
No, I think what Thomas Jefferson said it was, and before the mint was formed, it was 25 to 1. I think it could very well go back to 25 to 1. if you take away all the fluff, all the nonsense, all the paper transactions. Although what people are going to realize is Chinese have a full identifiable portion of the gold in the world. And
it looks like Shanghai wants the silver too.
There's a lot of arbitrage all over those currencies.
That's amazing.
The dollar may be the world's reserve currency, but not over there. In Asia, it's not.
I think in my lifetime we're going to lose the dollar as its reserve currency status in the world. I really believe it. Very soon.
And what else? Some cryptocurrency?
No, some stable coin driven by our government.
Oh,
which would be horrible.
That's based on our treasuries, though.
Yeah, I know it is. Would you ever take stable coins one day for gold and silver?
No cryptos.
None of that stuff.
No foreign currencies.
Yep.
No nothing.
All right. So what's your prediction? You gave me a number for silver last year. I want one this year. I said 120. What do you think for silver?
I never envisioned that the regulatory authorities would not regulate the futures industry.
You never saw $80 an ounce silver last year, and we broke it. What are we going to get to?
Over 80?
Not long. Not long.
How many minutes?
You've been calling for the Big Short. It's not big enough for you yet. I get it.
No, we need a really big short.
Where are we going to be? I'm not gonna stop this recording until you tell me. Give me a guess. Give me a guess.
In the 40s.
Oh, you're awful. How about?
Because this is
just for fun. Fine. In the 40s.
Survival of the fittest.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And there's a point at which I'm paying way too much for something, and I'm charging my customers way too much for something, and that's where I draw the line.
How about 49? That's in the 40s. 49. I'll write you down for 49.
You can do that if you want.
Okay.
But
thank you.
It's going to be hard to get there without some assistance from the regulatory authorities.
Yes.
Or without
Could you
Basel III.
Could you see silver hitting my 120 mark? What happens if it hits 120?
We'll have lines out the door, down the block of people selling their silver if that happens. Okay?
I thought you said that was going to happen when we got to, like, what was it, 60, 70?
How many days do we not have a line out the door?
But they're mostly buying now. FOMO kicked in, Tim. I saw it firsthand. People wanted to get in.
Yeah,
I interviewed them.
Buy.
Buy.
What are they buying?
Silver.
Silver.
They're buying silver.
Buying silver.
Yep.
And in a lot of cases, trading in gold and buying silver.
I saw cash too. And cashier's checks. I did see some other people didn't only sell their gold to
Is
get
he the guy who's head of the FBI?
Cash Patel. All right.
You didn't see him in here, did you?
No.
I'd like to sit down and talk with him.
You going to stick around? You told me 80 and you wouldn't be doing this anymore. That was years ago. You going to keep this up?
I still enjoy it. I have no reason to leave. But if the market is left to be completely out of control, we may have to rethink it.
Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate all you've done.
Very
Looking forward to a great 2026 with you, man.
Anything of that's nonsense you can edit out.
I love your nonsense. I'm not going to edit out much of anything. Thanks a lot, Tim. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.